They took my desk, Dad said over dinner. I nodded and said, okay, I'll clear it out tomorrow. The next morning I found a new apartment. Without telling them, I'm twirling spaghetti around my fork, when Dad drops it casual, as if he's checking the weather. They took my desk. He means my desk, the rickety oak one I dragged into the attic 2 years ago after college, where I've been grinding as a freelance graphic designer ever since my stomach lurches. But I force a smile, the kind that doesn't reach my eyes, and say, okay, I'll clear it out tomorrow. He keeps chewing, oblivious, while Mom nods like it's no big deal, and Jake, my 17-year-old brother, smirks across the table. He's getting the attic for his gaming setup, a sprawling mess of monitors and LEDs he's been whining about for months. No one asks me, no, hey, is that cool, just done, like I'm a footnote in their story. I'm 24, still living at home, not because I'm lazy, but because every paycheck's a tightrope walk, some to savings, some to bills, some to keep this house from falling apart. Last winter I shelled out $300 for the furnace when it died mid-blizzard, no one blinking when I swiped my card. Groceries every other week, me again, hauling bags in while they binge Netflix. That desk was my sanctuary, the one place I could breathe, where I built my portfolio and landed my first real client. It's not just a desk, it's proof I'm more than their errand boy. But Dad's already talking about Jake's setup, how it'll free up the living room, and Mom's murmuring about paint colors for the attic walls. Jake's grin widens like he's won something I didn't know we were betting on. I stab at my plate, the sauce staining the tablecloth, and feel the weight of it. I've been pouring myself into this family, and they don't even see me. That desk was mine. But I guess I'm not here, not anymore. After dinner I climb the attic stairs, the familiar creak under my boots louder than usual. My desk sits there cluttered with sketch pads, a cracked coffee mug, and my laptop, still humming from a logo I'd been tweaking. I slump into the chair staring at the screen, but my mind's racing. It's not just the desk they're taking, it's everything I've let them have. 2 years ago, I stayed home to save up, build my freelance gig into something solid. But I've been more than a tenant, I've been their fix-it guy, their ATM. Last month, I spent hours unclogging the printer when Jake jammed at printing cheat codes. Never thanks. Before that I drove him to soccer practice twice a week, burning gas I couldn't spare while he scrolled TikTok in the passenger seat. And Dad's phone bill, I've covered it 3 times this year alone, dipping into my savings. When he forgot to pay, I run my hands over the desk's chipped edges. This is where I landed my first big contract, a local cafe branding job that paid half my rent. Dreams. It's where I sketch late into the night, headphones on, drowning out the chaos downstairs. Losing it, feels like they're carving out the one piece of me I've kept. I'm done. The thought hits hard, sharp like a snapped pencil lead. I grab my phone, pull up a budgeting app, and calculate. I've got enough saved for a deposit, maybe 6 months. If I'm careful, no more waiting for the perfect moment. It's now next morning. I skip breakfast. The kitchen's too loud with Jake bragging about his new setup, Mom clattering dishes. I sit in my car, instead scrolling rental listings. There's a studio downtown, tiny for 100 square feet. But it's got a window and a corner for my desk. $800 a month, utilities extra. My heart thumps as I email the landlord, attach my portfolio for proof of income, and hit send. By noon he replies, looks good, deposit secures it. I transfer half my savings, $1,200, zero right there in the parking lot outside the coffee shop, where I'm sipping a $3 latte. I shouldn't have bought, it's reckless. But it feels right, like I'm clawing back something they've buried. I don't tell them, not yet. I drive home, the decision buzzing under my skin, and walk into the living room. Mom's on the couch scrolling her phone, and she glances up. Can you grab milk later? We're out. I nod, same old autopilot smile, but my head's elsewhere, packing boxes, picking paint for my walls. Jake's upstairs, probably measuring the attic, and Dad's in the garage tinkering with something he'll never finish. They don't notice I'm quieter than usual, that I linger by the stairs staring at the attic door like it's a ghost I'm about to exorcise. I head up there instead of the store, sit at my desk one last time, and start sorting files, client stuff in one pile, personal sketches in another. It's not goodbye yet, but it's close. The weight's shifting already. I've been carrying them. Printer ink, car rides, late night grocery runs. While they've leaned harder, never looking up, I think about the furnace money, how I shivered through December, so they wouldn't have to know once paid me back, not in cash or words. This desk was my anchor proof. I was building something, but they see it a storage space for Jake's ego. I close my laptop, the screen's glow fading, and feel a spark, anger sure, but something fiercer, resolve. I'm not just losing a desk, I'm gaining a life. Tomorrow I'll start dismantling this attic shrine, but tonight I plan. Milk can wait, they'll figure it out. Or they won't. Either way, I'm done pouring myself into their cracks. The next day, I let it start. I'm in the kitchen sipping black coffee, no milk since I never got it, when the printer screeches from the den. Dad's in there swearing under his breath, trying to send invoices for his side gig selling refurbished tools. It's jammed again, probably from Jake's late night gaming manuals. Normally, I'd grab a screwdriver, pop the back open, and fish out the crumpled paper. 10 minutes tops. Not today. I stay put, stirring my mug as he stomps in red-faced printers. Acting up, you got a sec? I glance over casual as hell and say, nope, busy. He blinks like I've spoken another language, then mutters something about figuring it out, and shuffles off. The machine stays silent. I feel a flicker of something, satisfaction, maybe watching him flail. Later, Jake's pacing by the front door, backpack slung over one shoulder. You're still driving me to practice, right, coach? Will bench me if I'm late. I've been his chauffeur since he got cut from the varsity team last fall, every Tuesday and Thursday, rearranging my deadlines to fit his schedule. I sip my coffee, let the pause stretch, then say, take the bus, I've got work. His jaw drops, eyes wide like I've betrayed him. Seriously, it's like a mile. I shrug, grab my keys, not for him, but for me, and head out to the car. I drive to a cafe, instead set up my laptop, and tweak a client's banner ad while he's probably cursing me at the stop. It's petty, but it feels good, like peeling off a bandage I didn't know was choking me. By evening, the lawn's a disaster, knee-high weeds from last week's rain edging undone. I've mowed it every Sunday since I was 18, even sharpened the blades myself when they dulled last spring. Dad's out there now, peering at the mower like it's a puzzle he's never solved. He catches me on the porch, sketchbook in hand, and calls over, you didn't refill the gas, it's empty. I look up, voice flat, nope, didn't feel like it. He scowls, arms crossed, and I can see the gears turning. He's annoyed, but he doesn't push. I sketch a tree, instead the pencil scratching louder than his grumbling. The grass stays wild, a green middle finger to their expectations. Mom corners me in the hallway that night, her voice soft but edged. We're a team, right? Things are slipping a little. Jake's late, Dad stressed, you've always helped out. She's clutching her phone, probably late for a Zoom call with her boss. I've reset the router for her a dozen times, memorized the tech support script by heart. I nod, same fake smile I've worn for years, and say, yeah, I get it. But I don't move. She hesitates, then retreats to her office, the Wi-Fi still spotty. I head upstairs past the attic where my desk sits untouched, and lock my bedroom door. The silence is thick, pulsing with something new, not guilt, not yet, but a thrill I can't name. They're starting to notice, though they don't get it. Dad's fumbling with tools he doesn't understand. Jake's whining about public transit. Mom's juggling her own messes. I've been their glue, patching cracks they pretended weren't there. Now I'm stepping back and the edges are fraying fast. I don't say a word about the lease. I've got the keys in my pocket, pick them up that afternoon, but I feel them cold and solid every time I shift. It's not loud, this rebellion, it's quiet, deliberate, like pulling a thread and watching the whole seam unravel. They'll see soon enough. For now, I let them stumble, and I keep sketching the lines sharper than ever. By Wednesday, the house is a mess of loose ends, the printer's still dead. Dad's invoices are piling up, and I hear him on the phone, voice tight, promising clients he'll mail them soon. Mom's Zoom calls keep dropping. The Wi-Fi's been flickering since I stopped resetting it, and she's muttering about deadlines while rebooting the router herself. Jake sulking because he missed practice again, the bus running late, and his cleats are still by the door, caked in mud I'd usually clean off. I walk past it all, sipping tea from a mug I won't be packing, and feel the chaos ripple. They're tripping over the holes I used to fill, and I'm not lifting a finger. Then Dad twists the knife deeper. I'm in the kitchen grabbing a granola bar when he strolls in, jingling his keys. and says, sold your bike this morning, got $150 for it, enough for Jake's new monitor, my bike, the one I rebuilt last summer, new chain and all. After scraping together parts on my dime, I'd ridden it to clear my head, between deadlines, the wind cutting through, the stress. He didn't ask, didn't even hint, just saw it in the garage and cashed it out. I freeze the bar halfway to my mouth and manage a flat, her okay. He doesn't catch the edge in my voice, just nods like it's a done deal, and heads out. The betrayal stings hot, sharper than the desk, because it's not just space he's taking, it's mine. Piece by piece I start packing that afternoon, not loud, not fast, just methodical. I pull books off the attic shelves, stack cables in a cardboard box, wrap my desk lamp in an old towel. Jake's upstairs blasting some shooter game through the wall. Oblivious mom peeks in, once eyebrows knitting, as she sees the growing pile by the stairs organizing. She asks, tentative. I nod something like that and keep going. She lingers, then leaves like she senses the shift, but can't name it. Dad's out back wrestling the mower with a gas can. He finally bought, cursing as it sputters. I don't offer to help. The boxes stack higher, each one a step closer to the studio waiting downtown. That night Jake bangs on my door, voice whining through the wood. The attic's too small for my setup now, the desk's all scratched up and the outlets yanky. I almost laugh, bitter and low, picturing my desk scarred under his gear. Sounds rough, I say, loud enough to carry, and turn back to my sketch pad. He stomps off, probably to mom, but I don't care. They're seeing it now, the cracks widening. No printer, no rides, no lawn, and a bike gone for a monitor I'll never use. I tape up another box, external hard drives, pens, a sketch I'd framed, and carry it to my car under the flickering porch light I fixed last month. No one follows. The house feels off balance like a machine missing gears. Mom's on the phone with tech support. When I pass the living room, Dad's got ink on his hands from a failed printer fix, and Jake's muttering about walking to school tomorrow. I've got the least key in my pocket, a solid weight against my thigh, and I'm already half gone. They don't know it yet, but they're running out of time to figure out how much I've held up. The bike's gone, the desk's next, and I'm not far behind. I shut my bedroom door, lock it, and keep packing. The sound of tape ripping louder than their complaints. Thursday night, we're at the table, takeout pizza grease soaking the box, the air's thick, not just from the pepperoni. Dad clears his throat, picking at a crust. Maybe Jake doesn't need the attic yet, he says, eyes on his plate. Does the first crack an admission? Things are off since I stopped playing handyman. Mom nods too quick, like she's been rehearsing it. Yeah, with everything going on, maybe we wait. Jake scowls, mouthful, but I set my slice down slow and deliberate. Too late, I say, voice steady. I signed a lease, moving out Friday. The room goes still, forks hovering. Mom's eyes widen. Jake chokes a little and Dad's head snaps up like I've slapped him. You're serious? Mom whispers, hands twisting her napkin. I nod, then Dad doubles down, voice gruff. Already promised your desk to Mike at work, $150 cash. Figured you're done with it. Another gut punch. My desk, the one I sanded down, stained, made mine hawked off like spare change. I lean back, arms crossed, and say, you sold what wasn't yours. Again the again lands heavy, a nod to the bike, and his jaw tightens. He doesn't argue, just glares, but I hold it unflinching. Jake mutters, that's dramatic, under his breath, and I almost laugh. Dramatics him whining about a scratched desk he stole. I stand, grab a marker from the counter, and head to the fridge. They watch silent as I scroll a list on a takeout receipt. Printer fixes 15 times, gas for Jake's rides $120 plus, bike repairs, mine sold, bills I covered $1,600 this year, lawn every Sunday, Wi-Fi resets, countless. At the bottom, bold, figure it out now. I tape it up, the magnet snapping loud in the quiet. That's what I've been, I say, turning your teams on its own. Mom's mouth opens, then shuts. Dad's knuckles whiten around his soda can. Jake stares at the list like it's in code. You could have said something. Mom finally manages, voice small. I did. I shoot back, sharper than I mean to. You didn't hear it, because I didn't scream. I just fixed it, paid it, drove it quietly. Every time I point at the list, that's me saying it. You just saw a ghost doing chores. Dad shifts, uncomfortable, and mumbles, didn't think it was that much. I nod slow, yeah, I know the words. hang heavy as the boxes. By the stairs, Jake still chewing slower now, like he's tasting the tension. I grab my plate, scrape the crust into the trash, and rinse it in the sink. Last habit I'll break here, their frozen pizza cooling. As I walk out Friday, I say over my shoulder, not looking back, that's it. Upstairs, I lock my door, the click final, the list stays on the fridge, a mirror they can't unsee. Dad sold my desk twice over, once to Jake, now to Mike. And I'm done being currency, the lease keys in my pocket, warm from my grip, and tomorrow's close enough to taste. They're rattled, I can feel it through the walls. But I'm not anymore. I sit on my bed, sketch pad closed, and breathe deep, free mine. They've got one night to stew on it, and I've got one night left to shed the skin. Friday morning, I'm up before the sun, the house still dark and quiet. My room's a shell, beds, stripped walls, bare boxes lined up like soldiers. By the door I haul them to my car, one by one, the cold air biting my hands as I stack sketchbooks, a monitor, a folded chair in the trunk. The attic's empty now, my desk abandoned under Jake's tangled cords, a stranger in its own space. Downstairs, the printer still silent, a stack of unmailed invoices yellowing on the counter. The lawn's a jungle, mower rusting in the garage since Dad's last failed attempt. I don't touch any of it, not my mess anymore. Mom catches me in the kitchen, hair messy, clutching a mug. Internet's out again, she says, voice frayed from a week of dropped calls. Can you fix it before you go? I pause, cereal box in hand, and meet her eyes. Google it, I say, pouring a bowl. She flinches, like I've cursed her, then nods, and shuffles off. I eat, standing the crunch loud in the stillness, while the Wi-Fi blinks red in the corner. Jake's still asleep, probably dreaming of a monitor he doesn't deserve, and Dad's in the den muttering over a toolbox he barely knows how to use. I rinse my bowl, leave it in the sink, another thread cut, and grab the last box. Outside, the porch light flickers dimmer than ever. I replaced it twice this year, bulbs I bought myself, but it's dying again. A faint SOS in the dawn. I load the car, the trunk slamming shut with a thud that echoes. Dad steps out, arms crossed, squinting at me like I'm a puzzle he's tired of solving. You really think this is it? He asks, gravel in his voice. I lean against the hood, keys jangling. Been paying your way for years, I say. Think I'll manage mine. He frowns, mouth opening, then closing. Nothing left to argue, the list still on the fridge, curling at the edges, a ghost he can't erase. I climb into the driver's seat, engine humming as I glance back. The house looks smaller, sagging under its own weight, overflowing trash cans. I didn't take out muddy cleats. By the door, a lawn swallowing the walkway. Jake's silhouette flickers in the attic window, probably awake now, staring at a desk he'll never appreciate. I pull out, tires crunching gravel, and don't look in the rear view. The road stretches ahead, quiet and open, leading to a studio that's mine. 400 square feet of freedom, a window for my desk,